When you come within 2 games of an NBA Finals, nobody anticipated that once we knew that they were going to run into Boston in the postseason. And that's why I say they overachieved.
The next day.
My phone is blowing up right now with executives, everyone around the league, just stunned. But every player on this Knicks roster, it felt like overperformed. You saw Jalen Brunson become an All-NBA All-Star guard. Karl-Anthony Towns an All-NBA performer as well. A lot of Knicks players. Josh Hart as well, who tweeted out something positive about Tom Thibodeau. They all had great years under him, but clearly the Knicks did not feel like Tom Thibodeau was going to be the coach to take them over the top.
Wow, NBA front offices have really high standards. Tell me about it. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about what the Knicks didn't tell you about Tom Thibodeau, despite the Knicks making the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since the 2000 NBA season. It was not enough for Tom Thibodeau to keep his job as the Knicks head coach. With that move being made, it signals that the Knicks are more than ready to be all in on winning an NBA championship ASAP. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Did the Knicks make the right decision to fire Tom Thibodeau? I've been debating about this back and forth, and I'm ultimately going to say yes to that question. I know a lot of people love Tom Thibodeau and believe the New York Knicks were wrong to fire Tom Thibodeau, and although they may end up being wrong in terms of this decision, it's not going to be because they fired Tom Thibodeau. If they're going to be wrong on this decision, it's going to be based on who they end up hiring after Tom Thibodeau. Look, I understand Tom Thibodeau did a lot for the city of New York. I understand that he got the Knicks to play some incredible basketball at certain points, but the New York Knicks were never going to win a championship under the guidance of Tom Thibodeau. The New York Knicks had a limited ceiling under Tom Thibodeau as their head coach, and we got to see that firsthand. I understand that he ended a drought in New York. I understand that he took the New York Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000. That's incredibly impressive, no doubt. But have you guys seen what's been happening in the last 2 playoff series? Obviously, Tom Thibodeau has been getting out-coached by Rick Carlisle left and right. I know Rick Carlisle is one of the best coaches in the NBA. I understand Rick Carlisle is a future Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest coaches ever, but Tom Thibodeau has been getting out-coached badly, mainly because of simple mistakes. Tom Thibodeau refuses to use his bench, and that was the major reason for his downfall in New York. Like what Kenny the Jet Smith said earlier this postseason, Tom Thibodeau wouldn't even play 9 guys in a baseball game. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau is very reliant on playing heavy minutes for starters, and the New York Knicks were tired out against the Indiana Pacers because they were too reliant on their starters. The Indiana Pacers have been able to beat the New York Knicks in the last 2 seasons because of depth. The Pacers used their bench. They obviously used their role players a little bit better than the Knicks used theirs, and Tom Thibodeau was also a little too reliant on using Jalen Brunson as the only option on offense. I didn't have a problem with how Tom Thibodeau used Jalen Brunson in terms of ball dominance. I mean, look, Jalen Brunson's an absolute gamer. He's a top 5 point guard, but obviously when you got other weapons like Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, you have to get those guys more involved in the offense, and Tom Thibodeau failed to do so. Therefore, it's not necessarily the wrong decision to fire Tom Thibodeau. Let's just see whether it was the right decision to fire Tom Thibodeau. Obviously, there's going to be a long list of candidates the New York Knicks are going to be looking at, but anything short outside of a few names, a lot of people in the city of New York are not going to be satisfied. I also want to show you guys this clip of Kendrick Perkins getting angry about Tom Thibodeau getting fired. Obviously, Kendrick Perkins was very dissatisfied with the New York Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. I don't necessarily agree with the assessment Kendrick Perkins made, but of course, Kendrick Perkins is on television to say hot takes for the sake of saying hot takes. Roll the film.
Here's my problem with the firing, right? What was Tom Thibodeau supposed to do? Karl-Anthony Towns, he started off the series, bro. He put you in the pick and roll. He switched it. You were getting cooked in the switch. So he tried to make an adjustment, and he tried to challenge the guards to fight over the screens a little bit harder and put you in the drop coverage. You was getting cooked in that as well. You wasn't getting back in transition. Jalen Brunson, outside of game 5, what was it, 68% of the time? He was getting scored on. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, what was Tom Thibodeau supposed to do at that moment? Right? When your two guys are physically don't have it, right? They don't have it. They don't have the athleticism to keep up with the Pacers.
Flashback.
The Knicks winning this series in 5.
Guys, damn it! Yeah, you could say all of those things, Kendrick Perkins, but at the end of the day, whose job is it to maximize the player's success on the basketball court? It's the head coach's job, and Tom Thibodeau did not do that on the New York Knicks. Am I saying Tom Thibodeau was the biggest problem on the Knicks? Not necessarily, but have you seen other coaches in the NBA get fired? Absolutely. We've seen coaches more accomplished than Tom Thibodeau get fired. Look at Michael Malone for the Denver Nuggets. This dude won a championship with the Denver freaking Nuggets, and he got fired less than 2 years later. Look at Mike Budenholzer for an example. He won a championship on the Milwaukee Bucks. He consistently led the Bucks to 50-plus win seasons, and he still got fired 2 years after winning the championship. We've seen better coaches than Tom Thibodeau get the pink slip, and obviously Tom Thibodeau was a good coach, but he's not a great head coach. If you're playing in the National Basketball Association, especially in the city of New York, you play to win championships. You don't just play to play. You don't just play to make the playoffs. You don't just play to win playoff series. You play to win championships. If you don't fire Tom Thibodeau, you're essentially accepting the fact that you're never going to win a championship. Look, Tom Thibodeau is great for a team that's in rebuilding mode. Tom Thibodeau is great for a team that needs credibility in the NBA. Tom Thibodeau did all those things on the New York Knicks. However, the New York Knicks are no longer in a rebuild. They are in a win-now situation. In fact, they may be one of the favorites to go to the NBA Finals next season. So if you're in that situation, you can't run it back with Tom Thibodeau as your head coach. You got to be able to hire some outside candidates in order to get the job done. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm hiring Michael Malone to be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. I know Michael Malone didn't rely on his bench a whole lot in his later years on the Denver Nuggets, but that's because he didn't have a choice. That roster was not very bench friendly at all. They didn't really have any bench worthy players outside of Russell Westbrook after their championship run. Obviously, Michael Malone has championship pedigree. He knows what it takes to win a championship. Hiring Johnnie, Bryant, assistant head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers, wouldn't be a bad move at all. He got to see the development of the New York Knicks firsthand. He was an assistant head coach for the New York Knicks for a number of years. Obviously, he joined the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. They end up getting the #1 seed, so obviously Johnnie Bryant knows a thing or two about winning. And of course, I wouldn't mind the hire of Taylor Jenkins or Mike Budenholzer, but to be completely honest, I think it's going to be Michael Malone or bust for this next hire for the New York Knicks. If they hire Michael Malone, then it was absolutely the right decision to fire Tom Thibodeau. If they don't hire Michael Malone, then let's see what happens for the New York Knicks. I'm excited to see how the future will play out. Firing Tom Thibodeau is the right decision to do, though, because you coach to win championships. You don't just coach basketball games just to make the playoffs. Let's stop being emotional and let's start looking at this from a logical standpoint. Tom Thibodeau was really not that guy in New York. So that is why the Knicks made the right decision to fire Tom Thibodeau, as the Knicks should go out there and hire Michael Malone ASAP. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.